Two new names have entered the Michigan coaching search as serious contenders following what has been an interesting weekend for Michigan fans, to say the least, and Ward Manuel, with at least one coach publicly saying, I'm not interested, and a couple of others saying, hey, look, I got a good job, but not in such a way that people are going, I don't know, is that a no? What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think that either one of these new names I'm going to tell you about is a realistic option for Michigan as their next head coach? And they are in the search for a new head coach, because Tuesday, Michigan football getting ready to play Texas in what was going to be a really cool Cheez-It Bowl game with Sherrone Moore as its head coach. Wednesday, that ain't happening. He was fired, and then he was arrested, detained. Friday, he was charged, and by Friday evening, is Ward Manuel the guy to lead the search to find next head coach at Michigan, also employing a search firm in Turnkey ZRG to help them do this. It's the same guy same firm, I should say, that helped them land Dusty May at Michigan. Michigan is in a very interesting spot, as they've got a great hockey team, a great women's basketball team, and a great men's basketball team. And the football team had been great and wants to keep its greatness. Add to that we're looking at Michigan really trying to finish strong in what is a really great season for them with Biff Poggi as its interim head coach. Great dude to be the interim coach, not a great dude as a long-term hire. I personally got a thing about head coaches that want to cut sleeves off of their shirts and coach on the sideline. It is a position that is distinguished, and it is one of the, if not the most important person at the university, and they should dress the part, right? That is to say, wear sleeves. Among other things, you're looking for a guy that can enter into Michigan's culture at this time and give it a squeakier, cleaner reputation at a time when it's not been a great look for Michigan football. Now, everything else for Michigan, as I mentioned, is going well. I think they had over 100,000 applications. They're close to that, according to federal data in the last year. So they get people that want to go to school there, want to pay full price to go there. That's great for them. But I think one of the reasons that they've seen that uptick in applications since 2022 by like 30,000 is the football team has been good, has been great, even winning the national championship in 2024. But as the cycle has really come to an end, they missed the opportunity to land some guys that we all think are really good. They got their own problems. I think the best fit for them is actually at Penn State right now. It's Matt Campbell, who's going to build a monster. They're going to be very good. And this is at a time when you are having to compete at the thick end of the Big Ten with SC, with Ohio State. And then you'll probably see some up-and-comers. Nebraska, if they figure it out, they can do some damage here. Iowa's been good. They're a top 25 team. Now, who's the next guy? Well, Arizona State's working on an extension for Kenny Dillingham. He also is from Arizona, and he graduated from Arizona State. It's really difficult to pry a guy away from his alma mater. Same thing happened with Brent Key, who was not up for the Michigan job, but was up for the Florida job, and he went to Georgia Tech, and that's, again, difficult to pry a guy away from a place that is home. Now, Kalen DeBoer was their top guy, and on Sunday he said, "Nah, I'm not interested." Plus, he's coaching in the college football playoff on Friday against Oklahoma. There's nothing that Michigan could give Kalen DeBoer that he doesn't already have at Alabama, and that's putting aside all of the baggage that is coming with being the next head coach at Michigan. We know that Jed Fish is on the radar, but I'm not really that interested in that coach if I'm Michigan, because is it the guy? Is he got a championship pedigree? No. Has he been able to build a really good football team? Yes. Will he be able to mesh with Bryce Underwood? I think so. Yeah. I mean, look at what he did with Damon Williams and Denzel Boston, and they finished a really good season at Washington this year. And I think if he decided to take the job, Damon Williams ain't coming. I wouldn't. I'm not trying to be in a competition with Bryce Underwood, not because I'm afraid of Bryce Underwood, but because I'm already the guy where I am, and I can be the guy somewhere else, right? Say Florida, for that matter, as DJ Lagway entered the transfer portal earlier this morning. Eli Drinkwitz has been on their radar, but I'm not sure that Michigan fans really like a guy who's making fun of them for the Connor Stallion stuff. To be fair, I make fun of them for the college stuff, for the Connor Stallion stuff, but that's because it really did get out of hand there at the end. And Eli Drinkwitz had the audacity to use a national spot to go, hold on a second. I'm getting a call from Connor Stallions as he's getting ready to play Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. And I'm like, yo, dog. But it's a guy that can coach, great football coach, and an interesting character. Not quite Lane Kiffin, but Lane Kiffin adjacent, and it's Missouri. I think he's happy at Missouri. I think Missouri is happy with him. I think he should stay there. He's got to find another offensive coordinator anyway, as Kirby Moore is going to become a head coach at Washington State. That's a great hire for them, by the way. So who are the two new names that have entered the fray? Well, one of them is Louisville coach Jeff Brohm, who is at home and who has agreed to a contract extension, but has not yet announced a contract extension. I'm quite shocked by this because this is another guy who fits the Kenny Dillingham and Brent Key mold. He went to Louisville. He left Purdue to go to Louisville. He wanted to be at Louisville, and Louisville has been pretty damn good since he got there. Is it a championship caliber coach that you're getting at the Big Ten level? Maybe, but you saw what he's able to do at Purdue, and Purdue has been garbage since he left. If you give him the resources that he has had, that he would have at Michigan, I think you're 100% looking at a guy who can turn you around quickly. But again, prying this guy away from Louisville is going to cost you a lot of money, but more on that in just a second. His quarterback's going to be good. You know that with Bryce Underwood, he's going to develop him as a passer because he doesn't have offenses that don't feature the throw game. They like to throw the ball downfield. He'll probably be able to get you some better wide receivers to go along with Andrew Marsh there. And I think perhaps get you a little bit further away from your DNA. It doesn't mean he doesn't want to run the football. He does want to run the football. But given that Michigan is a kind of pound it and then play defense school and program, and its archetype is that, I don't know, trying to go mess with that. I do think that some of the Blue Bloods have to rely on what their identity has been for over 100 years. And when they try to change that, things get out of hand. Think about Rich Rod at Michigan. That's how it could go. But Jeff Brohm was able to do this at Purdue. Why wouldn't he be able to do this in Michigan? The last guy that I think that they're willing to go take a look at is a guy that I put on my top 5 list at Fox Sports when I was writing this column when this news broke. And that's Los Angeles Chargers defense coordinator Jesse Minter. And I realized that Minter has a show cause, but it's up in April. And tell me what football we're coaching in April, right? Also a guy that's familiar with the program, also a guy who did a great job as defensive coordinator. And for the most part, was a dude that everybody liked at Michigan outside of the University of Michigan. However, a guy that did benefit quite seriously from Connor Stallions and the advanced scouting, as Michigan fans want to put it, with sign stealing, as we say it, the infamous pushing air when you see a pass play and it ends up being a pass play, stuff like that. But I also think that when we're thinking about Jesse Minter, the reason that it would give me pause now at a time when it's becoming clear what, at the time that we did this, we weren't quite clear on the details of what Sherrone Moore was being charged with and why he'd been fired. Since then, hey man, anybody that's been associated with Jim Harbaugh as a coach at Michigan probably needs to be a guy that really, he's got to be scrubbed, meaning you have to make sure that nothing is wrong here. You probably have to take it a step further than you would with other coaches because of his association with the program at a time when they picked up $30 million in fines for the sign stealing. Matt Weiss is on staff with the hacking and FBI charge that he picked up, having a whole bunch of private information from student athletes on his personal computers. And then we have Sherrone Moore and what is an inappropriate relationship with a staffer at Michigan that really got out of hand when he showed up to a house and unlawfully entered and then threatened to hurt himself and a lady in using butter knife and scissors. Just nasty situation. But again, if you're looking for a guy that knows Michigan's culture and wants to prove that Michigan is a very good program and that they're going to do right, even in this internal investigation, that's a guy to go get. And you put him front and center in the investigation, and you have him answer all the questions, and you have him continue to tell us just how good this program is. It's a good PR move if you do it that way, but I wouldn't want to subject myself to that if I didn't have to, especially if you can go get one of these other guys. So right now, Jeff Brohm feels interesting, but still think that Dabo Swinney is the way to go. Make him say no.